Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends. And look, we're all starting ourselves on the screen this week. It's Talking Town, your flagship podcast, 132. I am your host, The Goal. Looking forward to what a week it's been. 9 from 9, 21 points in the league. It doesn't get much better than this, the man from Del Monte, does it?
It really doesn't. I mean, what a great day yesterday. Me and Mike Woods continued, Rich, our tour of Ipswich watering holes. We went to the Dove yesterday. Very good. Had a couple in there. Very good. So it was a great day. And then a end-to-end match. Very exciting. Could have gone either way at 3-3. Rich, you thought it might go 4-3 to Blackburn, didn't you? It was looking that way with the momentum on that. But we dug it out. I mean, bloody hell, that's our second 4-3 at home. Only in September. Joe Royal.
I was thinking of you at 3-3, Max. I was thinking, you've been saying for the last 2 weeks, it's not often you'll see Town score 3 at home and not walk away with all 3 points. And I was thinking, I'm looking forward to getting on tomorrow's show to say, Matt, you've done it again, fella. But Rich, despite the tide turning, Massimo does what Massimo does best. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Massimo. Rich is so excited, ladies and gentlemen. He's just frozen on us again. He's having fantastic internet this afternoon. But that is what Massimo does best. Before we bring Rich back, we've got Stephen Parry. I remember the day when we couldn't win back-to-back games, let alone 3 games. Sharon, I swear I held my breath for the final. Yeah, well, I think we all did this, Sharon. Final 15 minutes yesterday, my face matched my blue shirt. A game we probably would have lost on the previous match, says Neil, before we bring Rich back in. What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
You know, it's hard to see. That's impossible to answer, isn't it? But certainly you're seeing, well, we did say, didn't we, like ahead of the Southampton game, you know, a team on a bad run of form, generally Ipswich would turn up and be the patsy and they would turn us over. But we saw a solid performance midweek. And then, again, 3-1 goes to 3-3 and we end up getting the 3 points. So there's certainly a strong mindset in this group of players, that's for certain.
Although I would prefer they didn't have a 3-1 lead, Rich, comfortable as you like, and then let them back in.
Well, I think it should have been, I think if we'd have gone off at half time, probably 6-2 up, Matt. I think that probably would have been a better scoreline.
Ben Moore thought it was going to be Exeter vibes. Yeah, we're going to hit 5, yeah.
Well, look, we had enough chances, didn't we? You know, they created, I think, overall, guys, I think we had 29 shots on goal to 11 from Blackburn. And, look, we scored 4 goals, but if we were more clinical, we would have
hit the post
more, wouldn't we?
Hit the post and we broadhead at 4. Could have been 4-1. Yeah, you're quite right. Before the break, it was. I mean, look, Brad's dog says it there and said it yesterday and today. It's like the Joe Royal era. You heard a Baz ball in the cricket. This is like Royal ball. Now, whether or not McKenna is actually planning for this, I'm not too certain. Because Rich, you made a really good point outside the ground yesterday. You're seeing all these goals, Martin, at Portman Road. Yeah, it's pretty tight when we go away. It's like 2 different personalities of the side, I think.
Yeah, and you're right. I asked, I think it was Phil, maybe an AD, because I think it was AD, because he'd been away this week with Town, as you have, Rich, and what the difference is. Like, what are we doing at home that we're not perhaps doing away? What have you picked anything up from viewing the games?
I think you have to give the teams who played at home credit, because I think Leeds obviously had them 4 back, didn't they? They hadn't played together all season. Cardiff were a good side, Matt, and Blackburn. Look, we went to Wednesday and we went to Southampton. I think we gave up sort of probably 1 chance across 2 games, the one that Aleki saved with his face. Other than that,
immense save that.
It was.
Wednesday were really poor. You know, Southampton are in their new manager just got relegated, lost some players, trying to implement a new way of play. Whereas you look at Blackburn yesterday, I think all last season they were up there when they went through that spell when they'd either win a game or lose. There was no draws, and you could see that yesterday. Like McKenna referenced that in his post-match. They throw a lot of bodies forward, Martin. So it's quite an open game against them. So he said it was no sort of surprise to him. But I think let's have a boring 1-0 next time game, please. Come on.
Exactly what Debbie, who watches our stuff, said to me this morning at church. Just give me a boring 1-0. Just sort of give me a 75th minute winner and I can go home.
It's funny you should say that, because you remember when we started the shows and we was in the Lambert era, the Paul Lambert era, and I used to think to myself, I wish Joe Royal was back here and we could have these 6-4s. And I looked up at the 6-4 outside the ground yesterday, you know, on the back of the North Stand. the 6-4. And suddenly I was thinking, bloody hell, this could be 6-4 way it was going. I love it, me. I think it's great. Hey, the Lambert backdrop. There he is.
That never gets old in my world. Oh, Daddy Lambert. I've got a couple of comments. Before we do, if you want to get involved and have your say, link is coming very shortly. Do please come on your platform to have your say in only the way you can do so. Mike, we're going to score one more than you. Ipswich of old, massive. The force is strong at our football club. Yesterday, I've said something through the summer, and it sort of played out, Rich, where I said this is going to be more about tactical adjustments. You know, League One, it was more my best versus your best. My best is going to win because we've got Broadhead and co. In this league, when you've got good players, it's going to be who can make the tactical tweaks at the right times. Now, John Dale Thomason at halftime made the tactical tweak, brought the winger on that really stretched us, gave Sammy Samodics lots of space. But then McKenna himself made the tweak, brought Amari Hutchinson on, which I thought was actually a masterstroke because it really gave us an outlet on the break. It really gave us a bit of pace of our own to get in and behind Blackburn. And that was a sort of cat and mouse game yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, another thing, you're up against better coaches as well, Martin. No disrespect to some coaches in League One. I think you're up.
Ooh. No, don't say it.
But the levels, managers, teams, grounds, supporters, although Blackburn, pathetic support yesterday, less than 900, shite. And that's a long way, but still no excuse on a Saturday. But yeah, I think he's got that right, hasn't he? Most games this season, Martin, when he's made them changes, Kieran, he's got it spot on, and we can't really bemoan. Well, it was you go back to the Stoke game, Matt, when he brought Caden Jackson on, and he played him, and everybody was thinking, "What the hell is he doing here?" And he got it right. And then yesterday, I think you've said it before, Martin, haven't you? Don't fall in love with a lone player, and I think there is a very strong possibility that a lot of Town fans will, because for 35 minutes yesterday, I think it was, what was the fullback for, was it Pickering for Blackburn, Harry Pickering?
Yeah.
He was like one of them cartoon characters.
Pickering, was it?
When they're going to spin and you get the sets around your head. It was like he twisted him, he turned him, he got fouled. I mean, he could turn out to be one of our best ever loan signings, I think, Amari.
Well, you was all right him off the other week. We want Carl Edwards. Or was that just Martin, Rich?
That was just me.
Martin?
I did say. I think what he's learned, what I've learned from the first 2 or 3 games when he came on a sub, he looked a little bit lightweight. He'd get touched too easy. He'd go down looking for a free kick because probably that's what he's used to playing. Like when he played briefly, but academy football as well, Martin. And he's used to that sort of protection from the referees. Where the last 2 or 3 times you've seen him at Southampton and even yesterday, he's not doing that anymore. And you just got to look at, I think it was on about 96 minute over your side. And he's chased that guy down and he's done a slide tackle out for a throw in. And you're thinking, you are working your socks off. And Kieran said he wanted to go and fill in at left back when Davis was struggling, you know. So he's pushing. He's really pushing Wes Burns now for a starting berth in that position on the right. I don't personally, I think with Morsey's suspension now, we'll probably talk about that a little bit later. Next Saturday, I wouldn't be. I'm not the manager, but you're going to take Morsey out, who's a mainstay of your team, and Wes Burns in an away game. Probably. But then Kieran might be brave and might say, right, we're going to Huddersfield. We're going to bring you in, and you're going to play instead of Wes. But yeah, look, Amari's he's one of them players, Matt, who gets you off your seat.
Hold on a second, though. Didn't everyone say the transfer window was like a D or whatever, and he was part of those signings? George Hurst?
Now, can we just talk on George Hurst's celebration yesterday? Because in modern day football, where players who score against teams they've played for, it's all respectful. It's all, you know, just keep it. George Hurst running over, ears cut, arms stretched.
Well, I don't think he was getting
that in my veins.
The Blackburn fans weren't giving someone who scored no goals in half the season. They're probably not going to even bother about it.
That was good. I actually echoed that in my celebration up in the top tier. I was doing that as well.
Just inject it in my veins in 2023. Finally, a throwback to football. Like, you know, back when Vieira and Keane were going at it in the tunnel. This sort of level of just love
I didn't realise until I saw the Discord, Lee Anderson made the point until I got home was that all 4 scorers was the 4 signings in the January window, which is like tremendous. But going back to Amari, I mean, I was surprised he didn't start yesterday. I thought he was really good against Southampton. Obviously got the goal. And he was a little unlucky to find himself on the bench, I think, after that performance. But then, like you say, Rich, comes on, squad game, all the subs you're allowed to give. He was tremendous. And you've seen a real... And he was raw when we got him. And we saw him in that game at Colchester against Luton. He looked raw in that and in some of his cameos. And it started... That volley he had against Leeds, I think it started turning after that, really. And I think he's been... Well, I think he was phenomenal yesterday when he came on as a sub. I'll tell you what else I thought was good from the bench. Harness. Now he's starting getting minutes, isn't he?
Yeah.
Which is great because he used to be one of my first names on the team sheet in League One. And I don't know, he went off the ball a bit, got injured in that, but come back in. Now you've seen him playing minutes.
Funny you mentioned Marcus Harness because obviously that was a player, not really Amari. I mean, midweek you were saying how people were saying about Carl Edwards and we would have preferred to keep him and not Amari. I actually think at the time it was Marcus Harness people were sort of scratching their heads about in regards of why is he still around the squad over an Edwards? And yesterday he showed it really, and also Tuesday when he came on, I thought he kept the ball really well, puts a shift in. He's very sticky control, is Marcus Harness, and that's what you sometimes need when your back's against the wall and you need to play out in tight spaces, Matt. And I thought he was brilliant yesterday, really, to be fair, when he came on.
I think there was an air, I think there was an air about him that felt like, you know, we said, is everyone going to come on the journey with us, right? Is what we said when you go from League One to Challenge. There was a feeling around him that maybe League One might have been his peak, but, you know, he started getting minutes back. Let's not forget, he come back very quickly from an injury, didn't he? I think he got out in, February, Rich, in that Papa John's game against Portsmouth, I think. And the one we lost 2-0. And he come back very quickly. And he certainly didn't look the same player after that. But now he's getting these little cameos off the bench. Tremendous. I'm sure he'll probably get some game time from the start against Wolves, I would have thought.
Yeah, definitely.
How did you rate George Hurst's overall performance, Richard, before we go on to Massimo? What did you make of George? You know, he was good, but he wasn't perhaps as George Hurst like until he got his goal, which I thought he took really well.
But he always puts a shift in, doesn't he? He was over our side second half, about 65 minutes. He looked absolutely knackered. He chased someone and he was like really flagging, and I'm thinking, you've run your race. But I did say on the when we done the preview, he needed that goal, and you know, because I know it's what he brings to the team overall, but it's still scoring goals as a striker. And we have to talk. Carl Brooks, I've got to use this because I did last night when he left the voice message. Kevin De Burgess, what a through ball. What a pass, Martin, that was.
Yeah, it was, tremendous.
Yeah, I thought it was Cameron Maldini back there at one point. Where he just played that ball.
That is literally threading the eye of the needle, isn't it? And it's
really good.
We can also, it's long ball football. It's a long pass, isn't it? Awful defending by Blackburn, to be quite honest. Like one straight ball down the side. But he took it well, didn't he? Just nutmegged the goal. He popped it through his legs, and hopefully he can get on a little bit of a run now and he can score 2 or 3 goals and give him a little bit more confidence in front of goal. But I thought he worked hard. Their keeper did have a mouth. Their keeper overall.
It all went pear-shaped for him, didn't it?
Just on my line, man.
Very good.
I've been sat on that for the last 2 days, mate. I've been thinking of that.
He was all over the shop, wasn't he? He was all over the shop, that guy.
It was at that through ball. It's like when Accrington Stanley meets Pep Guardiola. Like it's a long ball, but it's a long ball with class. It's like
it was tremendous. Tremendous. And great to see because me and Michael chatted on the train. He was going, well, some people were writing Burgess off, weren't they, Matt? I was like, yeah, me included. But I mean, look, long may it continue this improvement. He's on an upward trajectory, and it's great to see.
Would you say, talking about him, would you say he's the most improved player under McKenna?
I think he probably is at the moment. Yeah. I mean, there was arguments that Wolfenden was maybe because he was out of the picture, wasn't he? Until sort of McGrill and McKenna, and then McGrill and then McKenna. And then, you know, we felt like probably Wolfenden was going to leave. Do you remember, Rich? We were thinking he's probably going to be out the door. So I think you've seen an improvement there, but certainly the most recent improvement. Yeah, absolutely. Burgess, really good. And the fact he's going away and playing for Australia in the United States and whatever. He'll be playing against England next month, presumably at Wembley.
I think the biggest improvement has been keeping Massimo Longo fit because no club's managed to do it, it seems, in the last couple of years, except this one that suddenly found the magic potions from somewhere, despite having
Mine suddenly put his new toy away, Matt. The new
No.
Yeah.
The bandwagon has just been parked.
Run out of
With the
battery.
blue badge, of course, but it's been parked. Just for the time being, because Massimo, lots of people in the chat, too many to mention, but great comments keep coming in. Have been saying we need to tie him up to a longer deal. Dominic Dean is one of them. You got is Massimo one of the best free transfers we've ever had? Just how good was Massimo? He even got me singing the song yesterday, Rich, so he must have been.
He's
good.
here. He's there.
I still love that one, man. This is Massimo.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what you and
I
wasn't sure what you and Phil Blundell were singing on the show because I watched that back yesterday. I mean,
we had rehearsed it. It didn't look like we rehearsed it.
No, it didn't look like we rehearsed it. It was awful.
It was. It did. It felt
look, he's just unbelievable, isn't he? I thought they did dip a little bit in the second half for about 15 minutes there. I think it was after Morsey got that booking. Sort of we lost control of the midfield a little bit, Martin. But you have to give credit. You have to give credit to Blackburn because, and this is what you've got in this league. I did say Burgess wasn't good enough, Mike, for the Championship, but I'm sure that you said players are not good enough as well. So
Connor Chaplin should be playing number 10, apparently.
Yeah. But yeah, look, Luongo, look. Does he want another year? Because there was rumours he wanted to go back to Australia. It was nice that his family was there, Matt, yesterday.
Were they?
Nice. Score. I mean, let's talk about the goal. I mean, that is an incredible finish to keep it down as well. Because what was he, Martin? 16 yards out?
Yeah.
Poor goalkeeper. Shocking goalkeeping. I mean, he's punched the ball nowhere.
Looped up, didn't it?
But it's the touch, and I mean, as soon as he hit it, it was like, wow, what a goal, what a time to what's that? What has Chappers done this season, Mike? He's got 3 goals. He got an assist yesterday. He got an assist.
He's winding you up.
We still like to argue.
Yeah, because Mike wants to. Everybody, I don't know if I've seen it on Facebook.
He'll be on soon. I can see him at the bottom of the screen. Say these.
Can we have the David De Gea chat when he comes on, please?
No, we can't. But it was a good finish because it was a sort of finish that everyone except the people who's directly behind the goal didn't know was going in until it hit the net. And that unison of 30,000 people approximately lifting the roof was just a special moment. Your hairs and the back of your neck stand up, Matt. It's what you go for. It's the emotion, the connection, the moment.
Oh, God, yeah. Brilliant. You didn't have these. I keep saying it like a broken record. You don't get these moments against Bleeding Forest Green or whatever because you go 3 up and that's it. You know, they're never going to come back. And then you see yesterday that Blackburn didn't need many chances really to make an impact in the game and get back to 3-3. And then for us to thinking that shit we could lose this, only for Luongo to stick that in. Brilliant. These are the moments. These moments have been, like you say, in front of 30,000, just shy of. Been few and far between over the last decade plus. That's great. There's a buzz about it. It's brilliant. I love it.
We've been absolutely starved, and you're right, Massimo, but you can't talk about Massimo without talking about his partner in crime, Rich, and that's our
I
captain.
agree with Matt Stannard. The good comment from Matt Stannard there, just in the
he
chat.
is quality, but there was some warning signs in Asian midfield. Blackburn, this is what I've been saying. Blackburn changed shape. 3 men in the middle, 2 goals. I thought Taylor brought a bit of stability. 2 again. I mean, that's a fair point. You know, to a degree, but then you got the free man is Sami Skimonics, and he's like the modern day David Nugent. He just likes scoring goals against Ipswich wherever he goes, wherever he plays for. You can just stick him down for a goal score.
What a great! If it had been a Town player scored that goal, I mean, he's the dummy. It's a great finish because he's got so little of the goal there, Martin, to aim at. And he's put it right in the side netting by the post, hasn't he?
He's hit it early as well, isn't he? Which has caught Haladki a little bit, I think.
He'd fit nicely into our team, I think, Smuddy. If someone offered big money for Chaplin, you'd want Smuddits all day, wouldn't you? Brilliant. Other than he's sort of like a bit of a shithousery celebrations to our fans.
Oh, no, inject that in me as well. I don't mind it against us as well. You know what I mean? But
Nugent used to bloody wind me up. He'd come over doing the old this right in front of me.
Yeah.
Just annoying me, man. But yeah, I would have signed him if we had the opportunity. That was close, apparently, wasn't it? I think he was injured. It was the only reason why he didn't come on loan one time.
It's up there with Kevin Phillips. But Sam Morsey, Rich, because here this is a player under McKenna that has improved tremendously, which sounds mad because he came in already almost a finished product. But he's been played as a holder, then he's been played as a box-to-box. Now he's sort of gone back to his more traditional role. And he's just excelling in every single way. The way he turns players, he looks like he's turned like a cruise ship. Like you think, how can he get out of that situation? But he does it every time.
it's like that close control. And I thought he was a little bit unlucky with I think it's a yellow, but he's fouled before he does the foul. I thought he was the referee, Keith Stroud. I mean, he is dog shit. Absolute.
A lovely fella. I've met Keith a few times. Very nice chap. Yeah, but I know he divides the fan base on his.
He got the Haladki. That's the important thing.
It's more. See, we do have to look soon. I'm not saying like this season, but like going back to Matt's comment there, they're both the wrong side of 30. So sooner or later, it'd be interesting one with Morsey now because obviously he can't play Saturday, Matt. And you would have thought that Taylor would play Tuesday to get some game time.
Does he
Do you think now it switches around and Morsey plays against Wolves?
Isn't the suspension the next first team game?
No, it's league game.
All right. How's that been in play? It used to be the next first team fixture.
It's always been a league. Always. But yes, I'd play Morsey now alongside Lee Evans.
Yeah, I think because Taylor would have played, but now I'd say he's 95% certain he'll be starting next Saturday at Huddersfield. So I don't think you'd probably risk him. He might get a few minutes off the bench, but I think with Sam not having a game Saturday, just to keep him ticking over, Matt, even if he plays 45 minutes.
He was very good.
Comes from Wolverhampton, comes from Wolves as well, doesn't he? So he might want to play against.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Has he ever played for them, or have he been on their books?
I'm not sure. There's someone I could ask, but I can't remember what his name is.
Actually, I mean, look, there was that 15-minute period, wasn't there, where they were well on top. But I thought when Morsey was in possession yesterday, as you said, Martin, I thought in that second half, it was really noticeable that he was turning players and bringing Amari into the game and all that kind of thing. I don't know where he started his career.
32. Morsey's 32, I think now.
He's not old though, Rick. 33.
He turned 32, isn't he?
He's fairly fit. I know he had that injury, he had the knee injury the season before last, but then he only missed a couple of games there.
There you go.
He was at Wolves, youth career.
There you go.
I thought he would have started at Wolves.
And he left for Port.
He's our key man, and I'll be really interested to see. I know it's only one game next Saturday. I'll be really interested to see how Taylor and Luongo play together because they probably don't think they've started. Yeah. Well, Taylor's hardly starting any games, has he? And then the other night, Matt's come on for him. So, who do you reckon will be captain next Saturday, Martin? Luongo?
Yeah, good question. But then, I don't know. Wolfington?
Probably Luongo, I would have thought.
Or Harry Clark? Give it Harry Clark. Give it, go all in with a fist bump, cosplay.
You on side with that now?
No. But if you're going to do a fist bump, stick on the armband, at least go all in with it. You know what I mean? Like
maybe Luongo, I would reckon. Someone in the middle of the pitch.
A bit of experience in the middle.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be him. I mean, whether or not he wants another deal at Town's interesting. I mean, he could just leave, like you said, Rich. There was whispers of him wanting to go back to Australia, maybe see his career out there or whatever. I mean, you could, in theory, leave Ipswich on a high. But would he want to leave if he got promoted? Probably not. I mean,
Question from Mike D in the chat before we bring in being a Frank on football to have his say on his football team. Mike D, I think the way you play, especially at home, Haladki is becoming vital. The spare man at the back with great with feet. Is Walton back in or is he warming the bench? You can both take that one if you like. Who wants to go first with that?
Go back.
Well, I listen, I do like Walton, even though I think he's a bit of a liability with his feet. And of course, Haladki isn't. Although Mike, the fisherman, did say he didn't think Haladki's kicking was that great. And I probably agree with that. He made some really good shot-stopping saves, but yeah, his kicking weren't great. Well, bloody hell, first half, he passed it straight to a Blackburn player, but, so be it. But I think I don't think Walton comes back in automatically. And I think Walton's going to have to, because it would be so unfair on Haladki, having had such a good start to the season and been available for all the games. I think Walton will have to show in training or wherever, where he gets minutes, that what he offers is actually better than what Haladki is offering at the moment. And I think, maybe they're right. Maybe this style of play at home is and Haladki has the impact on the fact that he sits on the centre circle and can get the moves going much quicker.
It's a really tough situation, Rich, for any player coming into this team because they've started so well that if you come in, like Jack Taylor next week, for example, and you don't get the result, fans are going to start looking around as to what's changed. Did we miss Mass? Did we miss Morsey? Did we miss this? Same with the goalkeeping situation. What do you do? What's your thinking behind it?
Walton's still my number one. As soon as Walton's fit, I know it's harsh and people might not agree. He comes straight back in. He's a better all-round keeper for me than Haladki. And that he proved that last season, Matt. He was one of our best players. Haladki hardly played any football. He's not let us down.
League One, no. That's in League One. Haladki showed it in the Champions.
He was sloppy a couple of times yesterday with his kicking. He got away with that one in the first half when he passed it straight to Matey.
Yeah,
but he's encouraged to do it. That's what McKenna wants.
That's how we play. But Walton's massively improved with his feet. I think to say that he's not very good with his feet now is a little bit disrespectful, because I think
that's in League One though. Hladky's proven it in the Championship. Look, it comes down to man management. And what's that going to say to Hladky if McKenna goes, right, no, sorry, Walton's back in? I can't see that. That would be a bit of a momentum loss, I think, for a player.
James Mann says, didn't someone say like he's a League 2 goalkeeper? This is what I love about our viewers.
He wasn't
they never ever hold your opinions against you, our viewers. This is what I really love about them. Do you know what I mean? They never bring them back from the past. Love you, James.
We're only doing this live on the cuff.
No, I love it to bring it back up. Keep doing it.
He was League 2 goalkeeper when we signed him, though, to be fair.
He was. Paul P. Lucky got away with a couple yesterday. It's working at the moment, but it's going to cost us at some point.
Yeah, but I think that's how we play, and whoever's in goal, this is and like you said, Martin, I think yesterday in the WhatsApp group this morning, someone near you was moaning and saying, "Why do we do this?" And people still do not understand. They must be stupid if they can't see how we're playing, and this is the way we play.
Or not expect humans to make errors. Look at the Blackburn keeper yesterday. And everyone, we all think he's probably useless. You might have a worldie next week.
This fan wasn't
it just happens.
Moaning. He was barking at Hladky every time the ball went near him. And because some fans want it played long from a goalkeeper, and I get that. But guess what? McKenna wants those play. Like, you just look at McKenna's reaction when the ball is played short, when it's played through a gap, and you go, "Oh, McKenna's all up applauding." That's the bravery he wants from the back five, because it's how you beat the press. Look at Blackburn yesterday; they started doing it in the second half. That's how they beat the press.
I think we do play that the majority of the time, but then you'll see when we're leading into the last 10 minutes, we do go a little bit longer there. Because
game management comes into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think the game management, we all sat on here at the debacle at Charlton, Matt, how we threw that game away. And we've learned massively from how to see games out. The two away games we've just had, we're winning 1-0 going into injury time, and we know how to buy the free kicks now. Like I said about Williams last week, we're a bit more streetwise, I think. Now they're learning, Kieran's learning, and where can it take us? Quick question for both of you. I was chatting to the guy behind. Two parts. Have we overestimated this league, how good it is?
Maybe.
And have we underestimated how good we are?
Yeah, I think the answer is probably yes to both of those. Absolutely. I mean, part of you does think to say to yourself, is this all the Championship has got to offer? I mean, look, we've only lost one in what? It's 7? Is it 1 in 7?
Yeah.
Is that what it is now?
We've lost is it only 2 games? There's only a handful of games we've lost in.
We have taken 62 points from the last 69 available since the Bristol Rovers game, Matt.
Wow. The old watershed moment. Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, look, I said to you both on WhatsApp when we was on the train last night, this team feels like it's legit to me at the moment. Now, there's a lot of games to go. Still 40-odd games to go. And, and this is with our squad staying fit, etc. at the moment. So all the pivotal players are in there, other than Warren. Yeah, Chaplin's good. Broadhead's good. We've had a little bit of a question mark with Hurst. But when the games do come thick and fast, look, over winter, into Christmas, can we still keep that momentum? I hope so, because this looks like a promotion-winning team at the moment, and we're only 2 months into the season, but it's looking really good. And you used to say, show me the league table after 10 games, you're pretty much going to see the same league table at the end of the season. So it's all looking good at the moment.
Does look good. I did say in the summer I thought you two were over-egging the level that the Championship was. I didn't think it would be quite as straightforward as it has gone so far, touch wood. But I did think it wasn't as strong as people were sort of trying to say it was.
At home, teams are scoring goals against, and I think it's probably because of the style of play that we're doing. It's not happening away, is it? But certainly teams have found the net, which was very McKenna-esque.
There's a good comment there from Zorro Ark in the chat. And it will be the second half of the season will be harder because teams will learn.
But we can adapt too, hopefully, and you might see some new signings, in January. But the good thing is, people aren't really putting bodies behind the ball, are they? Like we saw yesterday, Blackburn 3-1 down. They're trying to get back in the game. They do get back in the game. So you have seen it more end to end at Portland, which you didn't obviously see in League One because the talent in the opposition wasn't there.
But that will change because obviously as the season unfolds, the table takes shape. Yeah. Teams at the moment, there's no expectation. Like you play Stoke at home first day of the year, first home game of the year. You want to win, of course you do. But it's Stoke, but a lot of money, championship side. There's not that expectation as the season sort of progresses, and then you go and play a Stoke. If their league position carries on, the expectation from the fan base is slightly higher because you should go to Stoke and win because they're not doing very well. You should go to another place and perhaps perform. And of course, they themselves take on their own battles, relegation, mid-table, whatever. And they become a bit more solid. So they might come behind and stick 10 blokes behind the ball to get the point that is what they need for their battle. But at the moment, no one fears anybody else, and it's
only Leeds that we've come up short against, and obviously they had some serious quality in that side. Of course, one of the scores went to Bournemouth, didn't he? Days later. But yeah, I mean, look, we've played probably, like Rich said, Blackburn on the periphery of the playoffs last year. We've beaten them at home. Stoke, always sort of mid-table-ish with some aspiration of playoffs. Beat them quite comfortably. Cardiff, everyone thought was going to be relegation material. Come back and beat them. So we are showing something, like we said at the top, which is un-Ipswich-like, really. We've been faced with the adversity, we've actually come out on top, other than Leeds. Yeah. It's brilliant to see.
Other than Leeds, yeah. But then the following week, they lost all their attacking talent. So
yeah, well, sod's law, isn't it? It's always this way.
Frank, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, fine. Hi, Matt, the Cruncher. I love that name. It has something, I guess, to do with your footballing skills.
Oh, possibly.
It's a name. It's a name loved and feared across the internet, Frank. Don't worry about that, man.
Well, actually, we agree on most things, the Cruncher and I. But one thing we don't agree on is Head Ladke. I agree with Matt. I think you've got to keep him in the team. And why would you change a winning team? 7 wins out of 8. I mean, it's a wonderful start to the season, and I think he'd be crazy, McKenna, to drop Head Ladke unless he does something unbelievably bad.
Right.
In the next couple
I'll
of
come
games.
back at Frank for that. Look at Arsenal at the minute. Aaron Ramsdale, he played 74 out of 75 games. He's got a new goalkeeper in David Raya because he's a better goalkeeper.
Well, I agree with that. I never rated Ramsdale.
He's a better all-round goalkeeper than Ladke.
Yeah, but Ramsdale I've never been a fan of from day one. He's a young keeper, but I've always thought, what the hell are they doing with him in goal? So I'm not at all surprised by that. But in the case of Ladke, whether you love him or loathe him, you can't deny the fact he's made some superb saves in his time in goal. And he had to be very, very patient. People forget that when he was with Salford City in 2021, he had 22 clean sheets. 22. I know what you're talking about, League Two. 22 clean sheets. He won the glove. What's it called? Goalkeeper of the Year award in that division, and justifiably, Yeah. So I think we are quick to criticise Ladke and quick to praise Walton. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, and Cruncher he's the stats man here. When Walton made his debut for Ipswich, didn't he concede 5 goals?
Yeah, but didn't Leif Davis give a penalty on his debut? Didn't Brandon Williams get roasted by the foot? Look, it's his debut, Frank.
Yeah, but the difference is he's a goalkeeper now. Goalkeepers, they make one mistake and it's magnified 1,000 times. 5 mistakes.
Go back on that game at 5-2 against Bolton. I don't think there was any goals there that were actually Walton's fault. And I mean,
wasn't that the first time Burgess and Edmondson had played together? I think they were like strangers. But you are right, Frank. That is easily glossed over. I couldn't believe it at the time.
Yeah. And as I say, goalkeeper, it's a terrible position because you've got to wait forever to get into a side. And when you get into a side,
this afternoon, he's saying all these things. You said this, you said that. The man sitting up there with a smile on his face with a hat on, he wanted our manager bin, Frank. I mean, everyone forgets that.
Well, don't forget I ate humble pie on that one, so we've got a clean slate.
The wonderful thing about football is and Ipswich is no exception. We're a broad church of opinions, and that's what makes the game so interesting. I mean, we all see it differently, and sometimes we agree completely, sometimes we disagree completely, and that's the essence of the sport, isn't it? We love it because of that, and the fact this is a great vehicle for communication on the Ipswich Town front. It's a wonderful show, and I take my hat off to you.
Thank you very much, Frank. Thank you very much. Thanks for popping by. So I'm too complimented. I can't speak right now. Thank you very much. But,
cheers, Frank.
All the best. I'll jump to Stephen because obviously we need a bit of positivity and reality in our lives. So Stephen, late on the line, my man.
Steve.
Well, I just want to pop in with mention the Walton point. Yeah, I think Walton will come back. A club needs a number one and a number two. Hladky knows his place. He knows if Walton was fit, he would not be playing right now. Yeah, he's done fantastically well, and no one can question that. I would rather have a number. Same with what Rich said about the Arsenal thing. Effectively, they got two number ones. One's going to want to go. Simple as that, because they both want to play. You can't play them both. If you go down that route and say, well, we've really got two number ones. No, you have a number one and a number two. Hladky knows he's a number two. He's a very good number two. Yeah, he knows his place, he knows his role, and he knows Walton's ahead of him. And when Walton comes back, when he's fully fit, he might have a couple of games in I don't know, under 21s or whatever. But when he's fully fit, he will come back. At the end of the day, we forget all those goals that Walton set up with his throwouts. Everyone says, oh, he can't play with his feet. Yeah, but he can throw. And I can tell you what, I can name 3 or 4 goals from last season came from his throwouts. He's an excellent, he claims the ball excellently in the air. He covers our defence at corners and set pieces, and he's a good shot stopper. And he's also a lot more experienced than Hladky in the Championship. Remember, he played a full season at Blackburn and he only conceded 43 goals. So he knows this league and he knows it better than Hladky. And for me, he would definitely go back in. But that's my problem.
All right, that's fine. Other points about your club, Steve?
Yesterday, my heart was going. I had my heart pressure monitor on me on through the roof.
Me too.
But I thought Hutchison changed that second half. I really do. They could not control him. And he was just unlucky he didn't get that goal at the end. I think a lot of people are putting, even Blackburn fans, are putting shade on Pers. He kept them in that game. He conceded 3 goals. He made the odd mistake. But he made a save from Chaplin. He made a save from Broadhead. He made a save from Hutchin. He kept him in that bloody game. You're right. If that was us and we're saying, we lost 4-3, but it could have been 7-3 quite easily if it weren't for the keeper. So I think he deserves a little bit more credit than saying, well, he was poor just because he made a mistake. I'd argue that mistake's probably covered up by the 3. But for me, the goal I really wanted to score was that Chaplin goal. That was sublime. A lovely pass from, I think it was Morsey, into Chaplin. Chaplin, one touch with his foot, then back, and keeper saves it. If that had gone in, that would have been, for me, goal of the season because it was sublime. And realistically, I do think we've got a chance. I still think we've got to keep our feet on the ground. There's a lot to play for, but I also do think we saw signs last season that we probably early on did underestimate the Championship. We did play Burnley last season and we matched them. We played Rotherham and we smashed them. So we have even last season we played Championship sides and we were competing. So even then we should have realised to ourselves, well, we can compete even then. Yeah. And we probably didn't think that because we weren't playing it week in, week out. So we should be under no illusion and no surprise that we've started well. Now we've got to keep that going. We've got a favourable run of fixtures. That doesn't mean we get the points. But if we do, we put ourselves in a good position. Well, what? Even now, there's one game left to play this weekend with 6 points clear of 4th. So we have a little bit of a cushion. Let's not rest on our laurels and keep pushing. See how far we go. Get as high as we are. Come January, invest in the right places and push forward. And I still think Amari Hutchinson could be our Diallo because that's how much he's improved. I think.
It's a fair shout, that Steve. Thanks for coming on, my man.
Look after yourself.
It's a great shout from Steve. Sean says Town are in a fortunate position. The top 3 have a little buffer and can afford a slip. Just need to grow the gap when we can. Obviously, 9 points, Rich, before 7th play between us and 7th, which is quite nice.
Yeah, and it's like a 9-point week. I always remember Mick when he was manager. Matt used to reference that when we had like 3 games. Like, look, it can. Yeah. We didn't do it a lot under McCarthy, but I mean, you do that 2 or 3 times a season. Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, you can make big strides on teams and up the road. I mean, poor old Canaries, poor old Norwich.
And a long way home.
Did you know that Plymouth only had 31%, Matt, in that game?
I didn't know that. Did Whittaker score a hat trick?
He did.
Oh, wow.
All
That's
right,
good to see them.
Norwich.
It's good to see them sticking it to them. Yeah, I love it.
My heart bleeds for him.
Yeah.
The needle mover, Matthew. How did you see his performance yesterday? I know Rich is absolutely in love with it.
Yeah, Rich said to me first time when I saw him outside the ground, Broadhead, man of the match. He said to me, didn't he, yesterday? Yeah, he was terrific. Should have had a hat trick, really. Very unlucky not to. I think the goal that he scored, I think the from being so far outside the area. Oh, I know the keeper had been backpedaling a little bit because he'd come out of his box, was going back. But it's actually the pinpoint accuracy of that shot into the corner of the net, and the keeper don't even move. I thought that just shows you what kind of level he's at. He's a really good player. I can't believe we signed him for $1.5 million. We'd sell him for 10 mil now, if not more. I think he's absolutely fantastic, and he's so pivotal to our team. But that was some finish. That was just instinctive from that position. I thought it was tremendous. Very unlucky not to get a hat trick.
Yeah, he was, and he broke the poor Blackburn defender's ankles, Rich, with that turn in the first half. Did you see it? Did you remember it?
Yeah,
absolute ton him.
Going back on that goal, he's probably the only one in our team who could score a goal like that.
It's a very good point, Rich. Yeah.
Don't forget the pass from Chaplin on the volley. Great ball. He's chested it again, and just hit it so early. And the goalkeeper's like, he's backpedaling and he can't get his feet sorted.
Fantastic to see.
Another thing I've noticed with him, watch the way, guys, that he celebrates when someone else scores. Yeah,
he's right into
Cardiff game when Ladapo got the winner. The Luongo goal yesterday.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And he's the first player to come out. He done the pre-match interview on Friday with the press. He's the first player to come out and actually mention promotion to the Premier League, So
yeah, good point.
And he doesn't look quite so nervous, Matt, in front of that camera. Do you remember when he signed? And he looked, this is some player, but he doesn't really. I don't think he likes the media duties. Where I think he's improved there. But yeah, I thought yesterday, he was our man of the match. And he should have probably gone home with at least 2 goals. He should have probably scored that one. Started the second half. It's a good save by the goalie. I'd expect him to score there. But what's he got now, Martin? 4 goals. He's a pivotal player. If we can, he's one of them key players, Matt, that you need to keep fit for the season it was a good move the other night. Kieran's dipped him onto the bench and he's put Amari in because he's not got a great injury record.
No, very true.
So you have to look after him. But I just think and I agree with you. And I said before, I can't believe the mess that Everton were in. He never ever got a look in there because I think he'd been there since he was 10. And they struggled to score goals. You had someone chomping at the bit. You didn't play him. And then we got him for an absolute steal, didn't we?
He's Premier League quality, him. Premier League quality. It's unbelievable. The big thing, of course, is as we kind of said this, didn't we, in a week, Rich? As Town continue on this journey, and if they can, then you do start seeing other clubs thinking, right, Broadhead's on our radar. Yeah. Chuck Ipswich 12 mil. Ditto McKenna once sacking season comes. But this is going to be part and parcel and everything out of our control. That's down to Ashton and co to deal with that. But as you said rightly, Rich, to me, Ipswich now getting started to be spoken about on national platforms like the Lineker Shearer podcast or wherever it was. They get you don't get that in League One. We're back where we belong now, and people are talking about us, which is fantastic because that shows you're being successful.
Don't like it.
Well, if you want to be successful, people are gonna,
don't like it.
Put eyeballs on you, and that might be for your manager. It might be for your players. Could be anything. But
it's my manager. No one else's. Leave him alone. He came to the prom with me. All right. Nobody else can talk about him. He's our manager.
He's got his head screwed on. He knows he's on a good thing there. He's got a good crop of players. He's got the support of the board. He's got 30,000 every other week at home.
We've seen it before.
He ain't just going to go to any team who come calling. No. That's not happening.
This has got to be one of the best jobs in England at the moment, I think, in terms of, the American ownership, the money. We criticise Ashton, but he does lots of good things. Look at the thing. He's got that pitch turned round ASAP to the spec that Kieran wanted. This is a great job to have right now. Great job.
They still overwater it.
They press a button for them. Rich will know. Do they press a button then for them things to come out?
Yeah, where was it the other night? Was it QPR or it was a game when the sprinklers come on during the first half?
Someone on it.
I can't remember where it was. I'll see it on the
He's not on the button. Even the blue carpeted bit down the sides. I noticed they put the goalposts in there, don't they? Sunk down in. Have you seen that?
I hadn't.
And then they drill them back in, so it's not.
It's all for one goal, isn't it? It's all for one goal.
New scoreboard.
The new scoreboard was up yesterday, wasn't it?
Did I see that?
I looked to my left and I went, yeah, no, it's a new scoreboard over there.
I didn't even notice it.
Mike
showed me on the train home. Go see the scoreboard. I was like, no.
Brilliant. Robert with a question. We've got Mike coming in just a second. Why does Kieran prefer Scarlett with Freddie?
Good question. Now, I was thinking this the same. Now I thought Ladapo might have got a look in, considering he scored 2 against Cardiff off the bench. I thought he might get a look in, but Dane's got it twice now, hasn't he? Yesterday in Southampton. Don't know. Interesting one. I mean, look, if Dane Scarlett comes on loan to you, you've got a bit of an obligation to give him minutes. Haven't you? Other Spurs will say, what's the bleeding point?
And when Kieran said that he's one of the best young strikers in the world,
that's my next point.
Obviously, he rates him. So, and he's worked with him, and I think he's done quite well when he's come on. He should have got himself a goal yesterday, guys, because Amari should have just squared it to him.
Yeah.
He could have tapped him for 5-3.
I mean, look, you've seen nothing near close to the potential that he's got, said Mourinho. And I do feel like, I'm a big fan of Dane Scarlett for those very reasons. If you get in the likes of Mourinho saying you're going to be a phenomenal talent if all goes well, I mean, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? But I do feel sorry for Freddie because he has made a bit of a impact when he come off the bench. I mean, look, 2 goals against Cardiff, won us the game. Yeah, but for whatever reason, recently, although McKenna likes to change up who he prefers, doesn't he? Jackson, obviously, previously, when maybe you would have selected Ladapo. So who knows? I don't think these decisions are made off the cuff, particularly. I would say that probably Ladapo will probably know that Scarlett might be the one because of the tactics that these are playing. I don't think it's like a surprise on the bench. I wouldn't have thought so. I think everything's probably. I mean, we did criticise him for having 2 pre-planned subs, didn't we? I do think that they, because we see the team changing up to the opposition tactics a little bit. I think that's probably thought out. So I don't think it's a surprise to anyone, but it's a surprise to us because we don't know what's coming, do we?
Do you reckon he gets them to play rock, paper, scissors?
Damn. Freddie, stand on the bench again.
Yep. Freddie's lost again. Oh, no. Mike, as a goalkeeper, free agent at the moment, apparently, that you'd like to sign. Is this rumour correct?
See, this is Richard twisting things.
I've just asked the question.
John Smith. Matt reckons it's not a real person, by the way, Mike.
What I actually said.
Yeah, who's this John Smith alias?
I don't know, but he turned around and said, "Go get him," and I'm like, Richard, like he's never coming. He's never going to. No, all I said was, look, if he was to drop his wage demands and
right,
can
I just stop you there? Because he was reported when he was at Man United, he was on about $250K a week.
Oh,
so he's taking a massive
money. Yeah.
What sort of wage drop are we taking him, Mike, to get him in?
Oh, I'll take it from $80K a week.
He'll go Saudi, I think, Mike. I think that's really.
Yeah, of course he will. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But
for those that don't know, this is in reference to David De Gea at Man United, who's obviously now a free agent. Mike would like to sign him. If he dropped his wage demands,
no, I never said that. This is a game.
Yeah.
Words being twisted. Stop twisting words, Mr.
I've heard the voice note.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I didn't. I would. Yeah, of course I would. Who wouldn't sign him?
Well, yeah. I agree with Mike. It's
who wouldn't sign him?
I would sign him.
Look, if we were in the Premier League, you're telling me you wouldn't sign him?
We're not in the Premier League.
No, but we were in League One, but we were signing Championship players.
Not Champions League players, though, mate. I mean, there's quite
so
a difference.
So in the Premier League, then we can't sign Champions League
players.
Hang on, whoa. Position, yeah? Right. Is that what you're saying, Gun?
Last time we were in the Premier League, we had a Champions League winner playing for us. Look how that turned out.
Yeah. Brilliantly,
Panini George had that one good game and then flopped.
Derby at home.
Okay, if we're talking about goalkeepers, yeah. Look, I'm with Rich on this. With regards to Walton, he comes straight back in for me. I saw enough again yesterday. Bear in mind, I'm right behind the goal. And the lad keeps kicking, and sometimes his touch and sometimes his decision making with his feet is somewhat woeful. Look, great. Look, he pulled off a great save from a header, and shot stopping. He's as good as he's as good as Walton. But for me, if you want to keep doing well, then you've got to go with our best keeper. And I think, unfortunately, while I felt Walton had some shockers last year, and I thought, maybe Halaki come in and do a job. Unfortunately for me, Walton gets ahead of Aladke every game, maybe bar a cup game.
Bit tough though, isn't it? You've got 21.
Not really, no.
We
Again, I'm using words that you've said, Gov. If you want to get better, get out, do well in this league, or do well, you've got it. You can't be emotionally attached to players. You've got to get your best players in. Prime example, yeah. Man City, when the season Pep Guardiola came in, he got rid of Joe Hart and brought in Allison, yeah? Right?
No, he didn't actually. He brought in Claudio Bravo.
He did.
Oh, yes.
Brilliant goalkeeper with his feet, but he couldn't use his hands.
No, exactly. But
bit of a problem.
Joe Hart, I think he had something like 17 clean sheets the season before.
Good point.
So no disrespect. If you want to get better, you have to go with your best options. You know what I mean? I mean, Aaron Ramsdale, what's he done wrong?
I'm not an Arsenal fan. I don't know.
Exactly. So look, that's just my opinion on him. And I have a little bit of a gripe. I'm getting a little bit fed up. I keep seeing little messages, little things on Twitter regarding Burns and Mari should come in for him and all this. Like Hutchinson should come in for him. I'm like, why? Burns yesterday that first half was ridiculous. He was so good on that right hand side. I know. I was right behind the goal. He
a bad view then. Fair play.
He kept on. He was right on the. Kept pulling himself away. Yeah, he had so much space, and when he got the ball, he runs at defenders, causes problems. Creates, shuts down. Do you know what I mean? And when he needed to get back, he got back. In the second half, he looked tired. And when Hutchinson came on, you can't argue with what he did. For me, Hutchinson is probably more of an impact player than a player that you'd start. I don't understand this dissing of Burns or this disrespect of Burns because he's done nothing wrong. Do you know what I mean? He's done nothing wrong. He's not passed the ball in one game to opposition about 4 or 5 times like our goalkeeper has yesterday. You can't diss players. Look, we are doing so well. There was talk about dropping Luongo for Taylor, and I'm like, why? Look, Luongo for me was close to man of the match yesterday. I thought he was good.
Martin can answer that one.
I feel it.
Got him.
But perhaps the day after Massimo's got man of the match isn't the time to do it. So we won't.
No. Come on, Martin. Out with it.
No, pick your times for your battles.
Don't hide behind. Don't be a
pick your battles.
Hide behind it.
I have got a question for you, though, mate.
Yeah, go on.
Is Wes Burns perhaps a victim of the stat world we live in now, where people look for the stats instead of perhaps the contributions away from them? Because currently, if you look at his stats, played 8, goals 0, assists 1. It's not sort of jumping off the page to you when you look when you compare it to a Broadhead or a Chaplin or maybe even an Amari Hutchinson. I've not looked at his stats. Is he a victim of the stat world we live in, where fans immediately look at the stats and not what their eyes tell them?
Absolutely. There's so much more to football than stats. Football these days is so much concentrated on stats and FIFA points. As I look at it, it is like the people. A lot of the younger generation now are looking at the game from a FIFA point of view. They play FIFA on their Xbox 360 or their Xbox One now, and Christ, fucking hell, show me age, yeah, or their PlayStation 105, whatever it is, and and they're playing this game, and they think that's how football is played. There's more, like people were all about Hurst. Look, ideally, I'd like him to score more goals, but my God, the work he does when he hasn't got the ball is just as important as putting that ball in the back of the net. It's the same with the whole squad. The reason why we're doing so well is because the whole squad from the back are doing everything. You can't look, even Aladke, as much as I find fault with his kicking, his work ethic, our back line's work ethic, our midfield's work ethic, our front line work ethic is the reason why we're sitting joint second. And with Kieran McKenna as well, who tactically yesterday bringing on the players that he should have done.
Mike's stats can be twisted any way you want to twist them.
Absolutely, but no, you're absolutely right. But for me, from my point of view, we've got to keep the main the main players that are doing well. Look, if Burns forms.
But isn't that Hadladke though, Mike? Because I've got a comment here, which I just want to jump in before and before I let you go. It says, Rob Holmes says, but Mike, aren't you doing the same about Hadladke, or aren't you saying the same about Hadladke in the sense of, you've got to keep players in that are doing well, but in the other side of the coin,
he's doing that great. How can you give the ball away as a goalkeeper 5 times in one batch? It's not the first time. Every other game he does it. Sorry, but Walton comes in straight away.
Okay.
I'd even argue that they're. Bear in mind again, right behind the goals, see the goals. I'd even argue, right, that at least one of them goals would have been saved by Walton.
Which one?
So I'm sorry, but look, Rob, I get that's your opinion. I get that's a great question, whatever. But if we really want to progress and continue this run, continue going forward, and get into the Premiership, where there will be players that we all love probably will go, or not get in the first 11. But the reality is, to get better, you have to have better. Look, I gave Morsey some stick last season, right? Because there was times where I felt that he just wasn't playing well.
I know when Mike changed. I know when you changed about Morsey when you met him at the garage that time.
No. For me, this
buying a pot noodle.
Stop, stir. I know.
What pot noodle was it?
You're not going to get bite.
Chicken and mushroom.
Anyway, I've heard. Anyway, just quickly, I've actually heard. Mike was telling me he was on holiday last week, Gov, and he was fishing by his lake, and he caught nothing. And I said, really, you need to be speaking to the real angler around here, Lee Anderson.
Absolutely,
he does.
Absolutely. Funny enough, I should be messaging Leando. I dropped 4 fish for Christ's sake. I never drop fish. Anyway, but look, Morsey for me is. I just think he's got better and better. I genuinely do. Yesterday, there was times when he was turning players inside out because they didn't know which way he was going to go. And I think, I look at that and I think, God, that's Jim Magilton in his day. Towards the end of his career.
That's a praise. That is. Good Lord.
It is. Look, at the end of the day, is give praise where praise is due. Hadladke's come in and done a job. I'm not going to slate the bloke too much because at the end of the day, he's come in, he's done a job.
How gracious of you, Michael. How gracious.
I'm just being up. Look, I am real. I am straight down the middle, mate. I don't. If I've got something to say, I say it. And if people don't agree, I don't agree. But
we know.
Like I said, you could hear by my voice yesterday after screaming and shouting. I'm taking a defibrillator with me next time I go to the bloody home game. I can't sit through another 4-3.
How did your brother enjoy the game yesterday, Mike? It was good to see him as well.
Oh my God, it was brilliant. We were hugging and laughing and screaming and shouting. It was just a great day. Look. If it had been 3-3, I probably wouldn't be so happy. But look, the end of the day is when you spend time with your, in my case with my brother, and we go and sit there and watch it. We come away from a win, and what else can you say, really? It's brilliant. It's a great time. Everybody right now is saying the same thing. It's a great time to be an Ipswich Town fan. There was a thing on Twitter where a Norwich fan turned around and said, "Are we no longer the pride of East Anglia?"
That this morning.
I'm like, you were never the pride of East Anglia.
It's actually quite a good post, mate. It was actually quite a good post by the guy, and he was having some good there's some good discussion with the Town fans.
Yeah, absolutely. But they were never the pride of East Anglia. We're the pride of East Anglia. They would just been the better team out of the 2 teams in the last 15, 18 years.
Yeah,
I didn't even realise, until your brother told me yesterday, I didn't even realise that Blackburn's second goal was an own goal.
Yeah, come on, Harry Clark.
Yeah, I didn't realise that.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about
it. It was, look, it is what it is. You're never going to go for a season without conceding an own goal.
No, exactly.
It just goes to show what happens when you put a ball across the 6-yard box. When a defender and a striker or whatever are coming in, you don't know where that ball's going to end up. And I think that's what Burns does well sometimes. I think there's so many times that ball's gone across the 6-yard box and no one there. I think he'd have probably got a lot more assists if people had been in there.
There was a comment in the chat, Mike, before you go a little while ago. I don't know who it was, but in there, I think it might have been Steve Barry. 26 chances he's created. So he can create them. If they don't finish them, that's not his fault.
No, exactly. So, look, again, that's a positive stat. We just got to, as fans, we've got to stop. If they're not playing well, I get it. But Burns is playing well. He's doing well. Look, he looked tired, like I said, and bringing Hutchinson on was a great move.
On a boat. You're on a boat, Mike, because you're swaying about there.
Mike, we appreciate you coming on, my man. Look after yourself.
I'm off.
See, mate.
I'm just sort of looking at those stats that Steve.
Mike, he's a walking contradiction, isn't it?
Very good.
I don't know where Steve got those stats from, because according to SofaScore, big chances created too.
I think the cameo of Amari yesterday, and obviously he scores the goal against Southampton, doesn't he? What it does do now is actually give Burns a little bit of competition, because we've always said there hasn't really been any competition for him on that side. And now people would be quite excited if Burns had to miss a game and Amari come in. You probably wouldn't see that as too much of a blow, I don't think. Certainly if he's going to play to the level that we saw yesterday. But I think Burns is a little bit of a victim of his own success, I think, because he had such a breakout season when he first come in with us, scoring goals, he assists, he's player of the year and everything. Very hard to keep that going. And now, of course, that was in League One. I think he's doing great. He's playing for Wales. He's doing all right with us in the Championship. You know, at the end of the day, it's going to be a squad game, isn't it? He ain't going to play every single game. That's not how it works.
Ben's confirming the stat from Steve. Wasn't disconfirming. I'm saying it was wrong. I'm just questioning where it was and how I can access it, because according to SofaScore,
put it in the comments. What is this? What is the stat site?
I'll try and start social media after a game. Phil, over to you.
Hey, Phil.
All right.
All right. How are you?
Good. You're going to do a little encore performance.
No, it's just in response to what Rich said at the start of the show. It's a good job that I don't earn a living off being able to sing, because I'm absolutely really. I thought you were
actually better than Martin. If I'm honest.
Sorry.
Praising this.
Gov's just got better hair than you. This was a thing last night, Phil, on the WhatsApp group. This was amazing. Matt comes out with some weird question to Gov. Where do you get your haircut?
I know.
What?
I thought he was stalking me.
My new next door neighbour to the right of me in Portman Road is Mick, who owns Mick's Hair Barbers, Mick's Barbers in Stowmarket.
Mick's Barbers, yeah.
So
I do my own hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Can you get him to sponsor the show, Matt? Come on.
Well, could do. Another few quid. Martin just wants to get a free haircut. That's all he's looking for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like 30
just had a
quid
free
a
holiday.
haircut.
Now he wants a free haircut.
It wasn't free holiday. My club card vouchers, Matthew. Come on.
Oh, wow.
I had to spend money somewhere to get it for free.
All right. Okay.
Did you put some shapes on the dance floor anyway, by the way?
The only shape I pulled on the dance floor was one with me back, mate. There's no chance of me pulling any shapes.
Well, apparently you run around Tesco's quite quick, apparently.
Oh, well, I'm only good around Tesco's, all right? I'm like Linford Christie around there, mate. Don't worry about that. But
Lunchbox.
Hey, Phil, bring it back down to a level of normality and sensibility, please.
I was just going to mention what McKenna said in his pre-match conference, because obviously it's posted on TWTD, and I look at that a lot. I mean, so he was saying what an excellent side Blackburn are because of the number of chances that they do create, and they create a lot of chances. I drew a similarity from them, with Cardiff. They made the pitch big. Now, last season there was only one real team that came here down at Portman Road and made the pitch really big, and we had for a long time during the game we had trouble breaking them down to get a breakthrough. Was Cambridge United. They made the pitch big. Those two wide players for Blackburn yesterday, they were hugging the touchline for pretty much the whole game, and it gave them that. Gave them the chances to create the chances. And I thought that third Blackburn goal that Schmodic scored was a touch of Premier League class, if I'm being honest. I think he took two touches, bang, and they drew level at 3-3. That was a terrific goal. But I'm gonna say Broadhead's goal yesterday was superb. I mean, he's just so sharp with his his thinking. He doesn't need to think about it. One or two touches, bang. And that's a sign of a quality player. And, like Stephen was saying earlier, that, how much we could sell him for now, we'd get a lot more from what we'd actually paid for him. But just going back to what McKenna was saying pre-match, this is what I like about McKenna. I mean, he's a manager that, he spends time, as what a head coach would do, is really, studying how teams play, how they move the ball about, and he does that, and this is why I trust him so much. Now, yesterday, what I said after is that we hit him hard and fast in the first 20, 30 minutes, and I think I think the key for our home success this season with any game really is to hit them hard and fast. And I think eventually, what Steve said earlier, teams, certainly in the second half, they're going to pick up on that and they're going to be more diligent with their play as well. But I'm a little bit concerned about January, February time. We could lose Morsey, Burgess, and Baggett, and Burgess and Morsey so far they're our kind of sort of backbone of our team at the moment. And I would anticipate that players who don't play that often will come in and they'll get better. I love the fact that Hurst got his second goal of the season yesterday. I love the fact that Mara came on. And he's a real live wire. He does get people off their seats. But McKenna just seems to be that one step ahead. And it'll be interesting for me to see now. I'm starting to believe that we could finish in the top 2 this season, regardless of how much other clubs have got to spend, regardless of the opposing quality that we're going to face. I'm looking forward to the Hull and Preston game because, between the 7 away games they've played together, they've only lost one. And I think that was Hull at Carrow Road on the first day of the season. It's a reminiscence of that 2004-05 season for me, with the pace that we had up front with Darren Bent and the way that Shefki Kuki played that season. It's the pace, and I just think when you've got players like Broadhead, Chappers, Hurst, they're all hungry for success. They all want Premier League football, and that is so nice to see. Them scoring goals week in, week after. That's going to ultimately get us into the Premier League. We've scored, I think, 17 goals in 8 games now, 8 league games. That's more than 2 a game. We're obviously well above 2 points a game. And I just think that when you look at the fixture list, I was looking at the fixture list yesterday after the game. I thought December and April, we've got a lot of games. We've got a lot of tough games. But that December fixture list now doesn't look so tough.
You're looking way too far ahead. Just look at Huddersfield. That's all we can do, Phil.
Yeah, I know I am, but I'm gonna say the table is starting to take shape. Give it another 2 or 3 games now, and you think that's probably
10 game mark, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 10, 12 game mark. That I'm saying just look. I just I'm looking forward to the Huddersfield game because I'm going, and I'm looking forward to the Hull and Preston. I'm surprised that Preston's made such a good start. Right now he's learned a thing or two over the summer, hasn't he? So they like to get bodies in the final third of the pitch, and that's why they're there on the table. They've made a great start themselves. But
you do make a good point, Phil, about the players. So if people don't know, both Australia and Indonesia are going to the Asia Cup in January, February, and obviously you've got African Cup of Nations. But Morsey's only played in the games where they've already qualified. If you know what I mean, they were already there and gave them a run out, but. If he keeps being a shining light for us in the midfield, he might get a shout, but he might be an outside bet. But I think certainly Baggett and Burgess won't be around in that period. Yeah, I think you're right there.
Does it concern you, Phil? Steve Wright asks, does it worry you that we're creating so many chances but only converting?
I think he's got that all right. I think what I'm more concerned about is, we are at some point, like Rich has said, that we are going to come a cropper. We're going to have a run of games where,
life out of me, Phil. That laugh, I still come out of nowhere. I'm still catching my breath, man.
I just think, it could be January, February time is what I'm thinking. I hope it isn't. But I'm saying McKenna, I think for me, he's already shown that when we did end up going through a bad patch, that he managed to successfully turn it around. The last 15 games of last season, 13 wins, 2 draws in the last 15 was unbelievable. Championship winning form, isn't it? So I just think I'm not worried in the slightest who we play. I don't care who we play when we play. It's just the way that we're playing football with the players we've got. I personally thought if I was walking away from the ground yesterday and we'd lost that, say, I don't know, 5-4, I wouldn't have felt that disappointed because of the way.
Bloody would have done 3-1 up, Phil.
Yeah, we were in danger of losing it in the last 10-15 minutes, but it's going to be interesting to see what Hull does. It'd be interesting to see what Preston do when they come down here.
They'll do what the rest have done, Phil. They'll turn up expecting 3 points and walk away with nothing.
Exactly. But
don't worry about that. Have you got one last thing for me? Because you're always famous for your one last things.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Not really. I'm saying.
Wow! Stop the press.
I've got a stat for you. So, Reading in 2021, right, in the last 10 years in Championship football, Reading have got the most points and only ahead of Town and Leicester. That is in the last 10 years.
Wow.
And Reading, where did they finish? Yeah, but where did they finish that season? I think they were top and then they tumbled down the table, didn't they?
Yeah, but let's hope that, you know, that this season won't be a carbon copy of 2004, 2005, because, you know, it always hinges. It always hinges on one goal or one game towards the end of a season.
I'll take third now, Phil. I'll take third now.
Look, I'm not going to take third now. I think that with the way that we started and the way we're going to carry on, we look. I'm optimistic, mate. I'm optimistic. We're going to do it. We're going to finish in the top 2. There, I said it.
That Joe Roll team was unlucky not to go up that season. What time the coach is leaving for Huddersfield then, Phil? What time is your alarm going to be set for?
Haven't checked yet. Haven't checked.
It's going to be early.
You got to be logistically on it.
I've been so busy these last 2 weeks. I've been at London. I've been at Sheffield. I've met so many people. I've had other interviews. I mean, say I've spoken to 101,000 people. I'm just happy just to ride this roller coaster. We're coasting at the moment, and it's wonderful. But yeah, I mean, say I nearly had a heart attack second half. I mean, say we have this habit of starting, brilliantly well first half, and in the second half, it's interesting to see from last season. And this is probably my one more thing.
There you go.
That you could argue we're a team that probably plays better away from home or performs better away from home with the results that we've had.
Pretty more in the image that McKenna wants, I think.
I would say that's no bad thing. I remember Mick McCarthy when he was in charge of Wolves. They had a terrific away record, didn't they? I think when they won promotion the first time round. I think when they won, I think with 90 points, and they had Nathan Blake and
that's right.
Who else sat front with them? Yeah. So I mean, say
sorry, go on. Sorry.
In McKenna I trust, and just long may this run continue, because 7 wins out of 8. Have we ever done that before at the second tier level? And we never did it under Burley, did we? I don't think Burley had won 7 of the first 8.
Under McCarthy, didn't we? Where we won. What was the run, Rich, when we won at Millwall?
I think we won the first. Jordan Spence. I mean, blimey.
Onto that guy.
Dragging the bottom of the barrel, isn't it?
That was a good start to the season, I recall. Something different about this team, though. Something different about
this. At the end. That went
well, I'm going to say, I remember going to the Millwall away game. I think it was January 2014 when we went top that afternoon. And I think we won. Was it 3-1? Was it Jonathan Parr scored down at the Den?
Your kids were mascots, weren't it, Rich?
Let go.
Huh?
Noel Hunt scored 2.
Yeah, he did.
Your lads were mascots, weren't they?
Ollie was mascot that day. Yeah, it was a great day. That was Jonathan Parr. What a blast on the pass that was.
We had a great comment here from Craig earlier in the chat. McCarthy, we made more chances in one game yesterday than we did in a month on the McCarthy side.
Very true.
Very true. Phil, we appreciate it, man. Look after yourself.
Phil.
Great show as always this afternoon. Anything you want to mention before we're back on Wednesday for the Matchday preview ahead of Huddersfield. We'll react to Wolves. I don't know if any of us sat here are going. Are we?
No, it's a bit lumps, isn't it? It's a bit lumpy. 20 quid. 20 quid's a bit snide, I think. They should have done 10s.
I'm doing a one-man protest. I'm not going.
I'd be interested to see who goes to that. That'd cost me 27 on the train, 20 quid on the
train. They get a decent crowd. They get a decent crowd.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
If Rich ain't going, I feel better for not going.
I'm at Northampton. I'm going to the cricket.
To the cricket.
I'm going to see Cookie, maybe for his last appearance for Essex.
Paul Cook?
Sir Alistair.
Anyway, I want to know why you didn't do a boxing show. Because Zheng knocked him
in the next week. Yeah. He did. Did you see his face after the battle?
What a punch that was, though, Matt.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Good him, Zhang. Fury will steer clear of him, let me tell you.
So is he now for Usyk?
Mandatory for Usyk.
He's mandatory for Usyk, but the bar was the mandatory, so Usyk ain't really got a fight.
Where does Joe Joyce go?
Not sure. It's not looking good for him. He's 38 as well.
Tyson Fury after the MMA fight?
No, can't see it. Joyce might retire. He might be told to retire. That was a bad knockout, I think.
That was bad. It was. Anything else Ipswich Town related?
No. Keep enjoying the buzz of it all, everybody. I mean, it's great. It's great doing these shows.
Rosy in the garden at the minute.
Yeah, it's all rosy.
We're the entertainers, aren't we? Do you remember when that DVD was that when videos were
Yeah, it was the great. Was it the Entertainers? Yeah,
The
it was called
Entertainers, they had a video come out.
It was. We're back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Not tonight. Back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Me and Mr. Nunn, because it's a Tuesday game, so I'm going to do both last word and preview.
Oh, he's not doing Sundays now because the American football's on. Everybody.
Oh, the Bears have got the early kickoff.
Yeah, soon in that, didn't they?
No, the Bears start at 9:25. Rumbled.
Against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm watching a horror film. But yeah, so we're back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Join us there. You've got the F1 show tomorrow as well. But until then, go on. What?
Who was your man of the match yesterday, Martin?
Probably Massimo Longo.
Oh, look, he's backtracking now, isn't he?
Hey, I'm not losing as a fan because if I get Jack Taylor, I'm happy. Yeah. If I'm not getting Jack Taylor because Massimo's doing man of the match, it's the best place to live.
It's a win-win situation, isn't it? Really, at the minute, because whoever's coming in at the minute, they're just rising to the occasion and they're not letting anybody down. And
Lee Evans doesn't even get into the conversation anymore, does he? Used to be
I see him running in front of me quite a lot at Portman Road, just up and down on the blue carpet. He'll play Tuesday when he'll be captain.
Yeah.
Was on the bench yesterday?
Yeah, he was on the bench.
Yeah.
But not put on ahead of. So you would have thought Taylor's ahead of Evans in the pecking order, but you never know. I guess the way at Huddersfield, he might go for the experienced head.
He might get the Swiss Army knife out, fire him into midfield.
But it's the same with Amari though. You know, like I don't want to see Amari Hutchinson foul. Every time he comes on and lights the place up, I'm delighted. I'm like, keep making me eat those words, you know, because that's the best place to live in as a fan. You don't want to watch a player who you say, "Oh, I'm not sure on him," foul.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're losing as a fan.
Shout out yesterday to Dave Vant, who was on the he was on the PA. You might not have been able to hear him because I could not hear him in the Magna stand.
I thought he was good. It was all right up on the top tier. I thought he was very good.
To hear the interview at half time. Wasn't it great? The frame footballers were out there, Matt.
I didn't see that. I was
they were all out there. And I couldn't hear it. But speedy recovery to Mark Murphy, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all the best to Mark.
All the best to Mark. Yeah. But there we go. We're done for today. That's the Cruncher. That's the Mogul. This is Talking Town. Hit the like button. We didn't set a target, so just hit it anyway. With love, with care. We'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down or when I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair.